One of my favorite Samsung mid-range devices ever is the Galaxy A8 from 2018. As the name suggests, this phone has been released in 2018, which makes it 6 years old. When it first got launched, the A8 was an instant hit since people saw it as a cheaper alternative for the S8 and S9. In this video I am going to tell you if the Galaxy A8 is still worth it in 2024. When it comes to the build quality, the A8 looks and feels amazing. That's because it is made of glass in front and back with an aluminum frame. 6 years later this device is still holding very well. I only have some small scratches. On the front it looks outdated because the bezels are bigger, but considering the time this device was released, this isn't a big deal. The Galaxy A8 is also IP68 water and dust resistant. Personally, I have always loved the design of the A8 and I miss the times where phones had distinctive designs. The Samsung Galaxy A8 has a 5.6-inch Full HD display. For 2024 standards, the display of the A8 is very compact, so it is perfect for people who like small phones. That aside, the display of the A8 is still good. It is very sharp and has vibrant colors since it has OLED technology, but it doesn't get that bright outside. It has only a 60Hz panel, but this is to be expected since only in 2021 Samsung started to add 120Hz panels on its midranges. I am sure, however, that people who own this device don't really care about 120Hz. The A8 came with Android 7 out of the box and the software experience wasn't that good. It became better with One UI, but sadly Android 9 is the last version of this device. The chip inside this device is the mid-range Exynos 7885, and honestly it does show its age. It is still good for scrolling through social media, but when doing heavier tasks or when playing games it gets very hot and it lags a lot. It has 4 GB of RAM and it doesn't keep a lot apps open in the background. The base storage is 32 GB, but it does support expandable storage. On the back, the A8 has a single 16-megapixel camera. In daylight, image quality is just okay. Pictures taken with it are sharp with vivid colors, but the dynamic range is weak. It doesn't have a night mode, so in low light the results aren't that good. In places with plenty of light it kind of takes somewhat usable pictures, but when there is less light it just fails. Video recording is also on the weak side. It can only shoot videos at 1080p at 30 fps and it doesn't have any kind of stabilization. On the front it has dual cameras. A main 16-megapixel lens and an 8-megapixel lens that is only slightly wider. Pictures taken with the main camera are sharper and have fine colors. The second camera, however, is just a waste of space since it isn't ultra-wide and the pictures it takes are very soft. When it comes to low light, both cameras fail to impress. Pictures lack details and they have a lot of noise. The Galaxy A8 has only a mono speaker. The position of this speaker is interesting since it is located on the side near the power button. Sound quality from this speaker is acceptable for an old mid-range device. It is loud enough, but at its highest volume it isn't as clear. The A8 has a headphone jack, which is a nice bonus. The A8 2018 has only a 3000 mAh battery capacity. The battery of this device isn't good in 2024. If you are a light user you can maybe stretch it through a day with a single charge. If you use it, however, just a little bit more, it will drain the battery very quick. I used it as a backup device and it barely got me through a day, only a couple of times. It does support 15 watts of charging, which is very normal for an old device. It misses wireless charging, but this isn't a big deal since only Samsung flagships have this feature. The Samsung Galaxy A8 has a fingerprint scanner on the back. This scanner is very reliable even though it isn't that fast. On the front it has 2 cameras, but it doesn't support face unlock. If you don't want to use the fingerprint scanner, the only way to secure this phone is with a PIN or a password. So, is the A8 still worth it in 2024? Although I still like this phone, sadly it isn't. Besides the build quality and the good display, for me the A8 doesn't pass the test when it comes to performance, cameras, and the battery. Nowadays a used Galaxy S10 is almost at the same price of the A8, so it doesn't really make sense to buy or use the latter. If you are an owner of this device, I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. If you did enjoy this video, then please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching.